Hell's Kitchen is loaded with a ton of intense moments, but this one from Season 10 was the worst of them all. There's no doubt that the Red Team was broken in Season 10. They had more arguments, backbiting, and cunning politics in one season than we've ever seen on the show before. Things had gotten so bad that a few contestants actually wished to leave the show to get away from all the drama. One intense rivalry that comes to mind was between two women who wanted to have the last word, being Robin Almodovar and Kimmy Willis.
Oh my God, Robin, just stop talking to me, for real.
Girl, don't even go there with me.
Oh my God.
Nobody expected these two's relationship to go sour since they actually started off on a pretty good note. When their constant bickering became a common sight, most of the other contestants were in for a shock. And that's exactly what happened on the steak family night. As both teams were prepping for the service, Kimmy felt overwhelmed after finding out that she was at the meat station. Considering it was a steak night, she was well aware that most of the responsibility to dish out the perfect order was in her hands. But Kimmy wanted to use this opportunity to prove her worth, which is a really good thing. However, something unexpected happened.
Oh my God, medic!
There's no room to lose focus for even a second on Hell's Kitchen. And well, Kimmy learned this the hard way. When Kimmy was working at her station, she accidentally touched a hot pan and some sizzling grease splattered all over her hand.
Oh my gosh. Clemenza, take her to the medic.
Kimmy was writhing in pain as she walked out of the kitchen to see a medic. With a burn as severe as that, Kimmy might not be able to return to the kitchen. But this contestant from Tennessee was so determined to complete the service that she returned right back to her station. However, was this really a good idea? While the rest of her team was cheering her on, this is what Robin had to say.
Everyone's like, go Kimmy!
Are you kidding me? She's a baby.
Why not give her a chance, Robin? Anyway, the menu for the night featured a ribeye with fingerling potatoes. What's more, it had a sautéed spinach topped with a fried egg, a grilled hanger steak with truffle fries, and a herb compound butter. And let's not forget Justin Antiodio's winning filet mignon. Additionally, there was also a kids menu. When both teams started on their first order, Tiffany Johnson from the red team was pretty sluggish on her pizza. After Chef Ramsay saw a young girl waiting for her pizza, he urged Tiffany to buckle up by saying this.
Come on, Tiffany!
Yes, chef!
You're so slow!
But Tiffany wasn't a fan of cooking for children. According to her, the kids had no idea what fine dining was and their opinion didn't matter to her. Now, that's the worst attitude for a chef to have. Because, well, no matter what the age, a customer is a customer. And no matter what, customer satisfaction is the most important thing. Since Tiffany lacked passion, it really showed in her cooking. When she sent out her first attempt at pizza, Chef Ramsay and sous chef Andy found the pizza to be burnt on one side. And well, this made Chef Ramsay furious.
Burnt with bits of shit in there. What is going on? All of you, get a grip.
Since Tiffany was working alone and she clearly sucked, Barbie Marshall jumped in to help her to speed up the pace. Barbie's deft work helped the red team dish out pizza orders one after the other, and all of them got accepted. But Tiffany wasn't having it. Instead of being thankful, she hated it.
I fucking hate the stupid look she gives to people. I can't stand it no more.
What was with this arrogance, man? Now, Tiffany was so desperate to bounce back, so she tried to redeem herself with the blinis. But once again, there was a problem. She was way too slow. And obviously, this frustrated Chef Ramsay.
Come on, Tiffany, speed up a little bit then. It's like you're fast asleep on there.
Later, Dana Cohen showed concern about the state of the blinis, but Tiffany didn't like it and rudely told her off. Tiffany showed no respect to her teammates, and when she sent her blinis to the pass, it was rejected. As the red team was ordered to start over, Barbie jumped into action to save her team, and Tiffany started cribbing once again. When Barbie's attempt not only got accepted, but also received some praise, Tiffany was reeling with jealousy.
Okay! God!
Someone was boiling big time. 90 minutes into the service, the red team moved on to the entrees. If you thought Tiffany fuming over Barbie was crazy, then wait till you see the blazing animosity between Robin and Kimmy.
I'm slicing, dude.
Can I walk?
Give me just 1 second.
Can I walk?
Damn it.
While the red team was working on their first order of entrees, Robin snapped at Kimmy while replying to her about the order's status. But Kimmy wasn't someone who could take an attitude, and she immediately accused Robin of acting crazy. However, Robin was the first one who was ready with her order. But she had to wait for Kimmy to slice her fillets, which were thicker than usual. Robin was getting really impatient with the wait. And when both of them walked up with their dishes to the pass, Chef Ramsay noticed that something was wrong with one of the dishes. Robin was confident that Kimmy might have screwed up. In fact, she was ecstatic that Kimmy might just get berated at any moment, but in truth, this is what happened.
Look at the way it's sliced. It's like being cut with a spoon. It's not even sliced there.
Robin eventually got her refire accepted. But on their next order, she walked up with her fish to the pass, despite Christina Wilson not being ready with the garnishes. Meanwhile, Kimmy needed an extra minute on her fillets as well. Robin then argued that Kimmy never told her about the garnishes, and at the back of her mind, this is what she thought.
Because now I know where we stand. This is where the sabotage starts.
But none of that mattered now, did it? Chef Ramsay was only going to be bothered about how the dish turned out, and Robin failed him on this front. And needless to say, the famous chef was mad.
It's got more fucking wrinkles on it than I have. That should be fucking cooked fresh.
When Robin tried to justify herself with Chef Ramsay, it only made things worse.
7 minutes ago.
Well, I took it out 3 minutes ago, so 4 minutes for it to cook, so 7 minutes ago, chef.
Yeah, maybe 17 minutes ago.
At this point, Robin was so frustrated that she just made Kimmy her target. The two contestants often got into arguments over their timing. And Chef Ramsay was so pissed with their lack of coordination that he actually pulled them aside to sort out their differences. Despite that, Robin and Kimmy continued to argue, and Chef Ramsay was dismayed by the level of disagreement between these two contestants.
Can you get it together?
If that wasn't enough, Barbie and Tiffany had their own catfight going on, and Chef Ramsay couldn't believe what was happening.
Stop fucking yelling at me! I'm sick of the yelling!
This team was going down into the dumps. There was more screaming and yelling happening than food coming out. And Robin walking up with a cold hanger steak to the pass was the last straw for Chef Ramsay. And well, this is what he did.
Put your hand on top! Stone cold!
There aren't many times I've seen Chef Ramsay lose it like this, but what followed after was just expected.
You, f*** off.
However, did you really think this disagreement died down after that? It only got worse, but how many times have you seen Chef Ramsay at a loss for words? That's how bad things got in this next service.
That's your problem! You don't shut up!
Forget about being speechless, Chef Ramsay actually looked stunned. But what exactly led to this argument? More than her cooking skills, Elise Harris was known more for giving her teammates and Chef Ramsay a hard time in both seasons 9 and 17. She hadn't even spared the blue team from her antics. Though she did have a crappy attitude, Elise still knew how to cook. But knowing how to cook wasn't enough to run a brigade. Being a team player and a good leader is a huge requirement, but she didn't have either. As both teams were getting ready for the steakhouse night, Chef Ramsay announced that due to overbooking, both teams would take turns in serving and cooking. Since the red team won the previous challenge, they had the choice of either cooking or serving, and they chose to serve first. The steakhouse night menu featured ribeye, New York strip loin, and hamachi. Both teams had 90 minutes to get as many tables served as possible. The red team started with their serving, and Carrie Keep handed the first ticket to the blue team. When Chef Ramsay called out the order, Tommy Stevens didn't respond to it, making Chef Ramsay annoyed. But when Elise Harris brought her first ticket to the pass, it wasn't properly written, and Chef Ramsay was pissed.
Can you not put 2 shrimp? Off with you, Elise.
30 minutes into the service, the orders kept piling up for the blue team since Tommy wasn't communicating with his teammates. 1 hour into the first seating, the blue team was nearly done with their appetizers and moved on to the entrees. However, the blue team ran into some problems when Natalie Blake sent up 2 New York strip loins of the same temperature. They were supposed to be medium and normal, and one of them appeared to be overcooked. When she finally took her sweet time to refire the dish and walked right back to the pass, this is how it turned out to be.
That is what?
I didn't realize it was that overdone, Chef.
You sliced it.
Yes, Chef.
Only 20 minutes were left for the first seating, and the customers were getting really impatient. But Natalie was all set to set the kitchen on fire. I mean, literally.
Fire, fire! Stop! That means stop!
It was a disastrous night indeed, since the blue team couldn't serve the remaining 5 tickets in the given time. And well, the diners had to leave hungry. It was now time for the second seating, and the red team was ready to give a better service, unlike the blue team. Tommy had a chance to redeem himself, but he did just the opposite when he walked to Chef Ramsay with the first ticket for the blue team. Was he slow? Nope, this is what happened.
Did I forget something?
Tommy had scribbled the orders in, and Chef Ramsay couldn't make out a thing. He repeatedly banged his head on the counter because he couldn't understand how someone could be so idiotic. Meanwhile, in the red team, thanks to Carrie's help, Elizabeth Bianchi was able to get the appetizers out smoothly. Back in the dining room, Tommy continued to struggle with the tickets and got another one ripped by Chef Ramsay. This time though, Ramsay was done with the headbanging and did this instead.
Are we gonna learn? Come on. Plain English. Why?
The red team moved on to the entrees, but their momentum went downhill when Elise sent Ross Seabass to the pass. Only 30 minutes left for the second seating, and the red team was trying to keep up the pace. However, Carrie was late with her garnishes and dragged the red team down with her. Later, when she sent her garnishes to the pass, the mashed potatoes were burnt to the point that they were sticking to Chef Ramsay's spoon. Ramsay was furious, and things worsened when Carrie didn't join the rest of them to see the mess that she had made.
Look, she said rude. That's burnt.
Back in the dining room, this time, it was the red team's diners who were growing impatient. With 10 minutes left, Carrie got her refire accepted. But on the next order, Elise dropped her sea bass onto the floor. Chef Ramsay got fed up with the red team and said this.
Time up. Shut it down.
This was one disappointing service. I mean, how many times have you seen diners from both sides of the team leave hungry? Almost all the members of both teams had screwed up, but there were 2 contestants who stood out from the rest. And I don't mean in a good way. Chef Ramsay first berated Tommy for not communicating well, and next it was Elise's turn. But you know how Chef Ramsay is savage when it comes to berating people? Well, I count this as one of the best moments ever.
You have a bright future in this industry. As a customer.
Nobody saw that coming, huh? Well, that's the iconic Chef Ramsay for you. But what this led to is one of the most intense fights on Hell's Kitchen.
One time, please.
Shut up for 5 seconds!
How do you think that was gonna end? Chef Ramsay had the perfect solution to this mess, so he said this.
But tonight, the winning team is none of you.
That was heated as hell, but what happened in this next service was even crazier.
Busted my ass! Get off my back!
Get off your
Get
back!
off my back!
Whoa, have you ever seen someone talk to Chef Ramsay like that? Much like Elise, Tenille Middleton's constant screaming always irritated us, but she was a good cook. There were quite a few times when she was a badass, but when she decided to lock horns with Chef Ramsay, things took a whole different turn. During the dinner service, the red team's dishes were featured on the menu. This included pan-seared scallops with mango chutney as an appetizer, cottage cheese and mushroom stuffed pork chops as an entree, and fresh fruit bowl with a lemon ricotta cream and coconut milk. In the blue kitchen, Andy Husbands misheard one of the order of scallops and blamed it on Chef Ramsay's accent and the speed. Who does that? Chef Ramsay did ignore him, but not before calling him brain dead. In the red kitchen, Ariel Contreras Fox brought the first order of scallops, which were deemed boiled. And well, Chef Ramsay accused her of not caring. Things weren't any better in the blue kitchen when Jim McGloin sent up his risotto. But it was rejected for being way too peppery and was berated by Chef Ramsay.
Peppery! Peppery! It's like this dead corpse inside.
In the red kitchen, Ariel got her refire accepted and bounced back. But Tenille made more spinach than required, and Chef Ramsay chewed her out like this.
So you can't do one table at a time, reheating spinach. Cook the spinach to order, you lazy cow!
Tenille didn't like the insult hurled at her, and she made sure her thoughts were heard when she said this.
Ramsay needs to learn how to show some respect, especially when I'm up there working hard.
In the blue kitchen, Jim's refired risotto was rejected for tasting bland. Chef Ramsay was furious and called it baby food while making the blue team taste it. Because of Jim's mistake, none of the appetizers went out to the diners, leaving them hungry and restless. Meanwhile, in the red kitchen, the team was almost done with their appetizers. When Chef Ramsay asked Tenille for the mashed potatoes and she delivered it, he noticed that the mashed potatoes were stuck to the pot and there weren't enough for 2 people. Chef Ramsay then berated her for the mistake once again.
What the f*** is that? Let me just tell you something. You act pathetically.
Tenille had enough of the insults, but I'm sure you haven't seen anyone react like this.
Because you're crap.
You're crap.
Ugh, I know that isn't gonna end well. But what happened next was even worse than my expectations. Chef Ramsay threw her out of the kitchen, but did Tenille just walk away? Oh, you wish, since this is what happened.
Fuck you! You can dish it, but you can't take it. Oh, let me in the kitchen.
Chef Ramsay then told Tenille that she wasn't listening and told her to shut up and behave while allowing her to return to the kitchen. In the blue kitchen, Jim's refired risotto was rejected yet again. And well, Chef Ramsay was beyond frustrated.
Oh no. This is still the first table.
When Jim said that he thought the risotto tasted fine, Chef Ramsay had enough and told sous chef Scott to cook the risotto and even said this.
Is this what it's like when Robert's not here?
1 hour and 15 minutes into the service, because of sous chef Scott, the blue team was finally able to send out their appetizers. In the red kitchen, the team moved on to the entrees. When Ramsay asked for the chicken, Sabrina Gressick claimed that she already sent it out. But there was nothing at the pass nor at the table, and this annoyed Chef Ramsay.
Chicken's mysteriously gone.
Yes, Chef.
It's like I need a detective in here. Where's the chicken?
Now, in the blue kitchen, the team also started with their entrees. However, sous chef Scott told Dave Levy that he was cooking the wrong garnishes. Kevin Cottle took the lead for the entrees, and while discussing the timings with Dave, a small argument broke out between the two.
Mashed potatoes ready?
Dude, I told you, 3 minutes. I still have 1 minute left.
In the red kitchen, Sabrina needed help slicing the chicken, so Suzanne Schlitt helped her by giving her directions. But Sabrina ended up cutting the chicken poorly and blamed it on Suzanne.
I'm not gonna let Suzanne tell me things anymore.
Meanwhile, in the blue kitchen, Chef Ramsay called out the next order. However, Andy didn't pay attention and this left Chef Ramsay dismayed. But that wasn't the only thing. When Chef Ramsay asked how many halibuts were on order, he couldn't even answer correctly.
How many halibut?
2 halibut, 1.
Oh my God.
Things got worse when Andy's halibut came out raw. 15 minutes later, the blue team was still waiting for Andy's halibut, while in the red kitchen, the team was sending out entrees. As they were working well, the momentum came to a halt when raw pork was sent back to the hot plate. When Chef Ramsay asked who cooked the pork, Sabrina answered. And I'm sure she must have bitten her lip right after because Chef Ramsay was pissed.
Oh, was it? Oh, touch that.
Yes, Chef.
Yeah.
It's raw.
In the blue kitchen, Andy's halibut came out overcooked and Ramsay chewed him out for it. Then Kevin tried to help Andy out, but he refused the help and this time he sent out raw halibut. Meanwhile, in the red kitchen, a lamb returned for being raw. Sabrina then claimed that it was medium well when she sent it. This made Chef Ramsay angry and he chewed her out.
Raw pork, undercooked lamb, now you're blaming the customer.
When nothing seemed right, there was only one thing left for Chef Ramsay to do, and that was to shut both kitchens down. That's it, things were done for the night. But you know what? There have been times when things got even crazier than this. And when I say crazy, I mean crazy as hell.